Now right here, I believe I have some of the hottest putters on the market right now. The AI Cruiser series, and I have 3 different models for us to test today. I mean, look at those grips. The first one we have to test is the AI One Cruiser number 7, and yes, we still have the cellophane wrapper on this. The second one, and you know what, how cool is that head cover right there, is the one we saw Wyndham Clark, the Jailbird AI Cruiser in this colorway. Wyndham Clark used this, Ricky Fowler used this. This is a seriously hot putter right now. And finally, we have this one to test, which I guess is sort of the more traditional, but slightly oversized, blade looking one. Still an unbelievable looking putter. And I'm not gonna lie, as soon as these putters came out, I was like, I need to get my hands on them. I need to give them a try. So we're gonna make this a little bit of a test. We're gonna try some 3 to 4 footers to start with, hit 3 putts with each and every putter, and then we're going to go into medium and long range. That's gotta be a good start. Because we all know that these are very, very balanced putters. And the first thing you'll notice is the length of this grip. Then, also, the size of these heads are also a lot bigger than we see on, like, I guess, in inverted commas, the normal versions of these putters. So let's get this off and I'll show you this peeling. Oh, this will never get old. This will never get old. Taking the wrapper off a new putter. Now you'll also notice each and every one of these putters we're testing today has this AI One technology, which is brand new for Odyssey this year. Essentially just makes a more consistent roll across the entirety of the face, which I guess essentially means you're more likely to hole more putts. Okay, let's get these ones to start off. Now what's really mad, like I'm standing over this, and for me, I like to place my hands in the middle, I guess actually just over halfway down this. It does feel a very, very balanced putter. Really quite strange, isn't it? Okay, let's hit the first one away. Remember, we're gonna test these in short, medium, and long lengths. Well, that's a good start. It does feel very balanced, I will say that. It feels like that head is quite big down behind the ball, which for a blade style is a little bit different. It feels very solid, this. It feels like I can really let the putter head swing. Yeah, that's a nice start. Let's have a little closer look at this one down behind the ball. So can you see what I mean there about that head looking a little bigger, a little wider through that section right there? What do you think of the look of this one, by the way? I quite like the white line and then the white face. It sort of just gives it that pop of colour, and for me that really helps alignment. When you're using this, you won't be able to see this window, but I guess this is just to show off the technology that is present in this putter. Looks quite good, that one, doesn't it? Okay, short one's done. Let's now move on to the number 7. And this really gives me like Luke Donald vibes. When he was holding these putts and world number 1, this was really, really popular. Okay, just gonna hit a few putts of the short ones away with this. Now, quite simply, all these putters that I have right here, overall length is much longer compared to a standard length putter. Now, this helps create stability in the eyes of the manufacturers. This extra length, which is usually paired with a larger and heavier, oversized grip, which has placed more mass towards the golfer's hands to counteract a heavier putter head, assists in building a smoother putting stroke. Which, I'll be honest, I really do like the feeling of that longer, thicker, heavier grip in your hands. It does make it feel solid. Now, after hitting 3 putts away with the number 7 at that short distance, just have a look at these. These are the things that are coming out in my mind in this putter. There's a reason why it's my second favourite. I'm dying to try that one Wyndham Clark and Ricky Fowler have used all last season. I'm going to say I think they still use it now. Usually I would never go for like a blue-headed putter, but these white lines really do pop off. And look how, this is how I get my golf ball to line up right here. I use the line on the ball, the line on the putter, and then these 2 back lines really work well. And it does look quite big, doesn't it? It definitely feels oversized, which on those short putts it really feels like it's going to stay on track. It really feels like you don't have to, well, think about where it's going to move. It's just going to stay there. And holding it here, this is like sort of what it looks like just holding it in my hands. Yeah, it feels like a really long putter, doesn't it? Like in terms of length, and then this grip makes it feel strange. It's like, where'd you put your hands? So like I said before, I tend to sort of go just below middle, but that being said, I am slightly on the smaller side. Okay, it's now time to try this final one. Let's get this off. Ooh, that was noisy. Is there anyone that's sort of sticking out for you right now in terms of looks? In terms of, okay, I could see myself using this. I mean, look at the length of this one. This is a lot longer. It's almost like, for me, a bit of a belly putter, but it does feel a lot heavier. And I like a heavy putter. I like a putter that doesn't feel like it's gonna blow away in the wind. Now, interestingly on this one, the little window with the AI technology is here in the bottom. You can see the weights, and for me, I think this is a bit of a weight plate here, this section. The head cover for this Jailbird is really quite cool. Now, what sticks out here on this putter is this colorway. And I really feel that these white lines and the blue lines make it easy to make sure and see if your putter face is open or closed, and then those three little dotted lines on top do make it easy to line up too. I'm gonna say this, I really love testing putters. I think this is the most underrated area of the game, and there's so many options, isn't there? There's so many little nuances. Yeah, I really feel this head size is a little more elongated back, and again, yeah. It feels solid up in this section. I mean, I'm gripping this normally. You could go a little more sort of arm lock, I guess, sort of like that. Okay, let's see if we can hold these three, then move on to those medium length putts. One away. Yeah, it feels big, this. Feels very big down behind the ball. It feels like it's gonna stay on that track, which I really do like. Like, I really like. Now remember, I'm using a lab putter at the minute, and these are very different to that. But I have used one of these very similar in the past. Remember that tank range that came out? Okay, so let's take a few steps back now. Let's take a few steps back. I think more like in this range, and let's try some from here. Now let's talk price point. They're just under £300, about £289 at the minute here in the UK. So they're not on the cheap end of the spectrum, but then if you compare that to like a lab gold price, it's a little bit cheaper, and then definitely compare it to a Scotty Cameron. Now the feel off the face, I've now hit those short putts, these tend to feel a little bit soft in my opinion, but that feeling of a heavier putter sort of has counteracted that. The sound is quite dull, so you're not getting too much of a pop. It's quite dull. That will depend on what golf ball you use, I must add. But yeah, my favourite so far, even though we've held every single putt, 9 putts out of 9, I do like that Jailbird. I'm just falling for like the whole thing of that's because it works for Wyndham Clark and it works for Ricky Fowler. It's got to work for me too. Okay, let's now move a little further back. And I think we will keep this putter in our hands for now. Let's go to that medium range. So around here, let's go here, and somewhere around here. So this is like sort of around that 10 foot. This is the sort of range where we're like, okay, we start holding more of these, we'll start to lower our scores. Now I've also noted some really cool little extras that you get. There's this little cruiser here on the side of the grip that's present on both sides. I know it's upside down, but it's present on both sides. You've also got Stroke Lab technology. Now, you don't have the actual look of the black into the different colour shaft at the bottom. It's just all present underneath. I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I like that look of the black shaft and into the silver. It definitely made it feel a little bit more pro, a little bit more premium, a little bit more, I guess, aftermarket. Anybody else agree with me on that? And I know for a fact, if I can hold more from this range, my scores would really start dropping. And what I'm really interested in is when we go to longer putts, which is why I've left them to last. Like, a heavier putter, longer like this, feels like on those longer putts, it'll be easier to feel that pace control. So leading to less 3 putts is my sort of psyche on that. But let's have a go at these first. Okay, here we go. First one away at this range. Will the sound change? That's got to be a good start. Right to left, up the hill. It does feel heavy, this as well. It really does feel heavy. Now this is a funny putt, isn't it? It feels straight up that hill. It really does feel straight up that hill. Let's go. What a putt that is. What a putt that was. I feel confident with this, you know. I feel, and I don't know what it is about it, that grip just feels like it's gonna get the putter just to swing there for me, just like that. It really does. And that can't be a bad feeling, can it? Let's see if we can go 6 out of 6 with this putter. This is off the left now, so we're testing all sorts of putts. We've got it. Straight in the front door. 6 for 6. Very consistent roll, same sound. Still felt quite soft off the face, but again, I come back to it being a heavier putter. It sort of feels there's more mass behind it, so negating that feeling of a soft face. Now, let's just talk about these weights. Now, you'll notice in all of these, the weights are big. They're present towards the front. That's because a lot of them have a lot of mass towards the back, especially the Jailbird and the number 7. But it does have available 5, 10, 15 and 20 gram weights, which are removable weights that allow you to dial in your exact head weight. Now, I will note this, they don't come with the putter. They are an extra charge, so they don't come with it. But I do remember, I had a tank putter, if you remember that range. That was back, yeah, it was definitely 2015 when I bought an Odyssey Tank Cruiser, and it definitely came with a weight kit. You could change also the weight at the top on that one. You can't do it on this one. Now, counterbalance putters were all the rage just after basically the banning of anchoring. You know, when people could sort of anchor it to the chin, anchor it in here, anchor it in the belly. It sort of offered a medium sort of range putter in the sense of a halfway house between something that you anchored and something that was, I guess, a lot smaller, more like we see, I guess, and class as traditional. Now, the whole idea of them was that for golfers struggling with their putting, it offered a different feel. It offered a feeling where the head was a lot heavier, the shafts were a lot longer, and golfers choked down on the grip to where the shaft was a few inches, or actually quite a few inches above their hands. Now, the shaft weight was above the hands, counterbalanced the heavier putter head, improving overall stability. Now, that overall stability is definitely what I felt on those first few putts. The short and the medium putts with the Jailbird. Let's now hit a few with the OW from that medium range. Let's see if we get that same feeling. You definitely do feel, because there's a lot more mass above than normal, I think, right? When you normally grip a putter, you're sort of towards the end, aren't you? Whereas now, that is all a little bit different. There is so much more above, isn't it? Look, that's where I'm gripping there. This sort of acts as an anchoring, I guess, feeling and counterbalances that head, which is why I guess it feels so stable and not wavering off. This weight, it almost keeps it there. Okay, 1, 2, and then 3 putts to hit away from here. So let's start off by hitting this left to righter up the hill. And you know what? It wasn't the best putt. It didn't really move, and maybe I did pull that a little bit. But something quite interesting. I started on the next 2 putts to have a little bit of a forward press. And look at these. Round on the side, on the top side, in the hole for the second putt. And then the third putt was a beautiful putt right to left up the hill. So again, I want to reiterate, we're testing all these putts and putters in the same scenarios. I have to say, well, there's one favourite right now, and I keep saying this, but I do want to test this number 7 now on the same length putts. It's really interesting. It does feel very, very solid, but I can't get over the soft feeling on the face. I mentioned shafts earlier. You can get a 140 or 200 gram shafts. So you can get these in slightly different versions. So let's start off by hitting this right to left up the hill, and it does look substantial. It does look solid behind the ball. I like the colourway and the white on this. It really does pop for alignment. That one's in, baby. That was absolutely gunned into the back. Gunned into the back of that hole. Now these two are the sneaky ones up the hill. This sort of just dies, and it just doesn't seem like it should. Okay, let's hit this one. Solid. End over end, that. End over end. See if we can get a full house with this one. Definitely preferring number 7 and Jailbird. And let's hit the final one away from this medium length with this putter. Oh, it's a little bit of a pull. Just with me, which one are you liking the look of? Do you like this sight alignment here of the Jailbird with the white and the blue, more traditional, or even into the number 7 here? Which one are you preferring? And let me know down below in the comments, because there could be a bit of a giveaway coming on these putters. Just going to tease you with that, there could be, so keep your eyes on the channel. As long as you subscribe and you turn on the bell, you'll keep up to date with everything going on. Now, so far, we're going through this test with a thorough tooth comb, because it's a putting. We want to make sure we're holing putts and we've got the best putter. So I'm really starting to iron out which one I'm liking. We've got an even tie at the end with the traditional looking blade and the OW, and then with the number 7. We've got an outright leader, that's got 6 out of 6 putts on the Jailbird. It's now time to devise this longer challenge, and it's dead easy. All we're going to do is go to the front of the screen, place this flag roughly around 3 feet behind, these T-pegs on the front, and go, okay, from a long distance, how many can I get just past the hole? Just into that range where I'll be like, okay, there I don't feel like I'm going to 3-putt, and they had a chance of going in. In fact, we'll make this a bit better. Move these T-pegs a little further forward, just around that range right there, because if you were just short, that would still be completely fine, right? Completely fine. So this is the range, 3 putts with each putter. Let's see how we get on. Let's see how we get on. We want a putter that performs in every scenario, And I really do feel this is going to be a bit of a tough part of this test. Isn't it mad? Like, look at those there. Like, looks-wise, these two are far more superior. This one, I don't know, I can see more of the white face. Maybe that's put me off a little bit. And I also prefer the necks of these two as opposed to this style neck. That's just my personal preference. You might have something totally different. This is the putt we've got here. Look how far we are. I reckon we're like 50 feet at least, maybe a little more. Let's see how consistent this pace control is in that. That's a good start, that. That's a good start. That is a 2-putt all day long. That was a little bit out the heel. Let's see if that gets there. Oh, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. Let's see if this one is any better. Better roll. Really good roll. Really good roll. Really good roll. Look at those 2 putts right there. I heeled that one a little bit, but I have to say this, even though we hit a bit of a bad putt, and this is really in that territory of 3-putt, it does feel very, very solid on those longer putts. For anybody that has, I guess, let's get walking back, get the other putter out, keep this video going, but anybody that has anchored a putter before, whether it's belly, chin, or sort of broom in the sternum here, you do have that sensation that the butt end, that's this end, is staying a little more constant, which I think is a nice thing to feel. I also know how big everybody is on head covers. You get a really nice head cover that's soft inside and magnetized. The Jailbird one looks cool, and it's slightly different here on the OW or the DW, or OW I think, whatever one it is. Magnet in here. But again, really nice looking head cover. I did critique this in the initial review of the AI putters this year because I thought, well, that's just going to end up going a funny colour, isn't it, after a bit. But it does look super premium. Let's start by hitting some away with the number 7. Now, straight away, I'm just much happier with this style putter. The first putt comes up a little on the short side, but you know what? That's finished literally about 3.5 feet short. So I'd be quite comfortable after holing 3 out of 3 with this on the 3-foot putts, that would be made. Okay, the next putt was really quite interesting. I actually struck that, just that bit right there, just in there. And what's quite interesting was that this still ended up going pin high or hole high, and that was literally a gimme range. And the final putt was out the ideal middle, lovely inside that range. And I just think that because, unlike the OW, this is a much bigger back on the number 7, those off-centre hits are far less scrutinised. I know they both got AI face, but we all know bigger MOI further back means that it sort of negates those bad hits, doesn't it, a little more. Okay, let's hit my Jailbird. the final one. I mean, look how high that is on me. It's like hip high. And in terms of actual length, these are 38 inches with a 17-inch grip. I mean, I usually have a 34-inch putter and a lot smaller grip. But again, it goes back to the point, the idea is you're meant to choke down on them and it gives that anchoring feeling. You definitely get that on this one. Okay, first one away, Jailbird up the left side. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's a lovely putt. That's a lovely putt. Look at that putt right there. That's cozied up right next to the hole. Again, inside. Oh, it's a little on the short side. Little on the short side. I do feel though that they're pretty consistent in terms of length, aren't they? Two perfect, one a little short. But yeah, this really is, yeah, my favourite. So my overall opinion of this Cruiser series putter. I think they're a very, very good range of putter. I'll be honest, I would actually stay away from the OW just simply because I don't feel it offers as much forgiveness. Those heel puts for me definitely came up a little shorter and the alignment aids were no way near as good. I feel if you're going something bigger, longer grip to get that anchoring sort of feeling and those alignment aids and more MOI, or just go the whole hog. Go for something with a bigger back to it. So either the number 7 or like I favoured here, the Jailbird. I do hope you enjoyed my review and test of the Cruiser series putters. Don't forget, if you wanted me to test anything else, just subscribe, turn the bell and pop down below what you want me to test next. And also keep your eyes on that giveaway. There was one coming. There is one coming.